inside this parking garage at the Ashley in Buckhead. It's not clear exactly how it happened, but we do know that police are talking to several people right now. They gave us an update a short time ago. Take a listen to what they had to say.
We have a couple people detained at this point. We don't have any charges on anybody, and I can't say if we're anticipating charging them, but we do have them. They're going to be taken to headquarters where we can get a better understanding of what happened.
And back out here live, you can see the investigators continuing their work at this hour. They say they have ruled out suicide as a possible cause of this shooting. They're still investigating whether or not it was an accidental or a negligent discharge of the firearm. But regardless, again, the big sad news here tonight is that an 18-year-old woman has died. That's the latest from here live in Buckhead. Rob DeRosa.
Again at the Decatur Library. And that's when authorities say the argument started again. And 20-year-old Kuwan Jones shot the other man. Jones was arrested for aggravated assault. He's from Birmingham, Alabama, we're told. The victim is in the hospital in stable condition. He's discovered the first victim Monday afternoon and the second one this morning. As Fox 5's Janice Yu reports tonight, the two men were roommates.
A spokesperson for the Troup County Sheriff's Office says these men were likely killed on Sunday or early Monday. And he also tells me the bodies were put in this lake in an attempt to hide them.
When we got the call yesterday, that was kind of our working hunt. We were going out there that, if it was a fisherman or somebody that drowned, well then, once we started looking at the body, we discovered that. And it was certainly shocking.
But less than 24 hours later, investigators made a similar discovery at the same lake.
We recovered it in the same manner and brought it to the shore and discovered that this person appeared to be shot in a similar fashion.
Authorities identified the second victim as Travis Lodato. Caswell's family says the two men were roommates. Caswell, known as Lee, recently became a grandfather and was supposed to walk his daughter down the aisle soon. His mother tells me Caswell and his daughter were best friends. She says the motorcycle he was riding that day is still missing. While the deaths of the two men are shocking, the sheriff's department doesn't believe the public is in any danger.
You've seen some of the community reaction on social media. A lot of people are upset about it and scared, and rightfully so, but we don't believe at this point that the community needs to be fearful that there's this random person walking around. I mean, it was obviously, we believe their deaths all related, and it was probably one single incident.
If you were in the area of the lake or Lower Glass Bridge Road on Monday or Sunday, please contact the sheriff's office with any information.
School, Johns Creek police telling me they were able to make entry into the man's home where they found his body. Neighbors tell me their adrenaline was rushing as they watched this unfold.
And I'm like, this is our neighborhood. Oh, sweet Jesus.
Jamie Warren says she was upstairs watching from her window as officers tried to get her neighbor to peacefully surrender. This is in Johns Creek's Surrey Park subdivision.
At one point, they were asking him just to come out and surrender with his hands up, clear of anything. And then a couple hours passed, and there was some gunfire. There was also glass shattering.
For about 5 hours Tuesday afternoon, right across from Warren's backyard, police say a man barricaded himself inside a home. This is along Abbott's Bridge and Donington Drive. Officers initially responded to the house for a call of shots fired.
There was a shots fired from the residence outside towards the officers there at that time. Upon arrival, when the officers got there were more shots fired at that time.
The North Metro SWAT team immediately arrived at the house. You can see them here as they tried to successfully resolve this situation.
After all the glass had shattered, they were over on the megaphone saying, "We've thrown in a telephone for you. It's in a black box. Just answer it and we can talk from there."
Now, this all happened near Abbott Hill Elementary School. Here's a view from Sky Fox 5 of the campus. School officials locked down the building before students were safely released.
I'm not a parent, but I can see where they would be even more concerned than I was just peeping out my back window because, it's their offspring, their loves.
Once the school was clear, investigators tell Fox 5 News the SWAT team made entry into the home where they found the man's body. They believe he died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. No officers were hurt during this incident. In Johns
duty to act and help find solutions to the current crime problem across the state. Speaking at the Georgia Chamber's Congressional Luncheon in Columbus, the governor outlined some of the steps he's taken to help curb crime, including street racing legislation, the GBI Gang Task Force, and the new Crime Suppression Unit in Atlanta. State Senator Elena Parent, who represents Atlanta, says she thinks the business community provides a valuable perspective, but
none of us want to see any community with elevated crime rates. I'm not sure that's their primary role or what we need to be their primary role as a Chamber of Commerce statewide or even local chambers of commerce.
The governor, though, urged the business community to talk to their local law enforcement, prosecutors, and community organizations.
Because when local leaders have difficult conversations about issues that impact the daily lives of everyone around them and hold people accountable, real change can happen.
The governor also encouraged
like a lifetime.
At the onset of the pandemic, the nation tuned in as the governor held daily televised briefings, which eventually won him an Emmy. But offstage, thousands of New York families were grieving over loved ones who died in the state's nursing homes and long-term care facilities.
We need answers, we need an apology, and we need a fair investigation.
Many blamed the governor's directive requiring nursing homes to take in COVID patients from hospitals.
New York followed the president's agency's guidance.
Amid all this, Cuomo wrote a best-selling book on leadership, netting him millions of dollars. He was riding a high, but 2021 would change all that. A state report found nursing home deaths were undercounted by Cuomo's administration, leading to a federal investigation. And then, one by one,
Patrol agents apprehended migrants who had crossed the border from Mexico, captured in exclusive video obtained by Fox News. This as the surge in crossings continues to grow. Customs and Border Protection expecting to announce agents made more than 210,000 apprehensions in July, a five-fold increase over the same month in 2020. The numbers mark the highest monthly figure in more than 20 years, despite the Biden administration saying earlier this year it expected crossings to drop off in the heat of summer.
I think capacity issues we've made huge improvements on.
Republicans say the crisis is made worse by the pandemic, pointing to recent reports the Department of Homeland Security found more than 18% of migrant families and 20% of unaccompanied minors recently crossing the U.S. border tested positive for COVID-19 as they left Border Patrol custody over the past 2 to 3 weeks.
This is a crisis of the first order. It's a crisis of public health.
In a letter to Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, Arizona's Attorney General demanded the Biden administration stop releasing COVID-19 migrants into the country, saying, quote, "This revelation shows incredible hypocrisy and disdain for the health of everyday Americans." On Thursday, Secretary Mayorkas plans to visit South Texas and, according to the DHS, meet with those working on the front lines of this immigration battle. In Mission, Texas, Jonathan Hunt, Fox 5 News.
Today, Arizona Congress.
A small group in our nation's capital has reaped the rewards of government, while the people